The deepest, unusual, and disturbing website. Iceberg. Did you know there's a website where people post actual photos of their deceased newborns? Another where hundreds of unsecured security cameras can be viewed by anyone? And even one created by a convicted serial killer to share his daily thoughts while on death row. The internet has layers. What you see every day is just the surface. Today, we're diving into the deepest parts of the web, places most people never visit, and for good reason. This is the unusual and disturbing website Iceberg. As we descend deeper, these sites become increasingly obscure, unsettling, and in some cases, truly horrifying. I've spent weeks researching this topic so you don't have to visit these places yourself. Ready to see how dark the internet really gets? Let's begin our descent. The surface-level Hidden Answers. Hidden Answers is essentially the Reddit of the dark web. Its front page looks almost identical to old Reddit, complete with the same upvote and downvote system for posts and comments. The key difference, of course, is the content. While Reddit has rules against illegal material, Hidden Answers has no such restrictions. Users openly discuss manufacturing explosives, producing counterfeit money, and other criminal activities. Typical posts include questions like, "How can I make TNT and grenades to destroy trees?" or requests for PDFs teaching counterfeiting techniques. The site also features discussions about drugs, weapons, and various illegal services. A similar site called Dread functions as another Reddit clone on the dark web, with even more active users. Pinned posts might announce giveaways of illegal substances, while regular threads seek recommendations for reliable gun vendors and other prohibited items. What makes these forums disturbing isn't just the illegal content, but the casual, normalized way these activities are discussed, as if asking how to build a bomb is no different from asking for restaurant recommendations. Antimatrix.org. Antimatrix.org is a conspiracy theory website that delves into extreme and often anti-Semitic content. The site functions as a repository for various conspiracy theories, many focusing on the concept of a Zionist-occupied government, and claims that Jews secretly control the world through shadowy organizations. The site contains hundreds of pages and posts, serving as a search engine for conspiracy content. One particularly disturbing section is dedicated to claims about ritualistic murders, falsely alleging that Jews worship Lucifer and that the CIA supplies children for sacrificial rituals, connecting these baseless assertions to real issues like missing children. Most content on Antimatrix isn't original. The author has compiled posts from various sources, including books, creating a central hub for these theories. Posts like The Secret Covenant discuss supposed plans by secretive societies to dominate the world, a common theme throughout the site. What makes Antimatrix disturbing is how it weaves real-world events and legitimate concerns into a tapestry of anti-Semitism and unfounded accusations, potentially fueling hatred against Jewish communities and other groups. Apocalypse Prepping. Apocalypse Prepping is a dark website dedicated to extreme survivalist content, written by what appears to be a single author with deeply paranoid views. The posts detail various doomsday scenarios and how to prepare for them. One post, titled "What to Expect," describes a sudden collapse of modern infrastructure. One day you might wake up and the internet is gone. Power might be gone. TV and radio stations are offline. No one knows why or how. Stores will be overrun. People will organize into mobs and gangs to steal from each other. The site owner advocates creating stockpiles of food and supplies while building teams of trusted people aware of the coming apocalypse. They emphasize secrecy and isolation as crucial for survival. Your first priority should be physical distance. Bug out into a secluded vacation home in the wilderness. The higher the population density where you live, the more you should bend your mind around, getting to a safer, more rural shelter on doomsday. While many preppers have reasonable concerns about natural disasters or temporary disruptions, this site takes things to an extreme level, suggesting that civilization's collapse is imminent and unavoidable. Recently, the author has focused on artificial intelligence as a potential extinction threat, writing that ChatGPT is ready to pass human intelligence, and that it's only a matter of time before AI controls humans rather than the reverse. Rent-A-Hitman.com. Rent-A-Hitman has one of the most unusual backstories of any website on our list. Created by Bob Innes from Northern California, the domain was purchased in 2005 for about $9. Innes originally intended to start an IT company with friends, with hit, referring to website hits or traffic. When that business didn't materialize, Innes redesigned the website to resemble a hitman-for-hire service as a joke. Then, in 2008, he checked the site's email account and discovered hundreds of messages, some joking, but others appearing deadly serious. In 2010, a woman named Helen contacted the site with a detailed request to eliminate 3 family members in the UK who she believed had cheated her out of an inheritance. The message included names and addresses of the intended targets. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Innes forwarded Helen's information to a police officer friend, who contacted Canadian authorities. Helen was arrested, jailed for 4 months in Canada, and later extradited to the UK for other charges. After this incident, Innes continued operating the site, but emphasized its satirical nature with clear parody indicators. Nevertheless, it still attracts serious inquiries. Under the pseudonym Guido Fanelli, Innes responds to serious requests by giving people a chance to back out. If they persist, he reports them to law enforcement. He immediately reports any request involving minors. Several people have been arrested after attempting to hire hitmen through the site. Innes maintains it at his own expense, though he accepts donations, as a way to catch individuals with harmful intentions before they can find actual criminals to carry out their plans. Worldcorpo.net. Worldcorpo.net was a disturbing website that's no longer active, but left a troubling legacy. Through the Wayback Machine, it's possible to see what made this site so infamous. The site gained notoriety for hosting distressing videos that appeared to show children in states of terror. These videos were heavily edited and often difficult to see clearly, but the audio, featuring children screaming in apparent genuine fear, was distinct. There were also strange videos of naked men engaging in bizarre, but not illegal activities. Beyond videos, the site had sections for images and music. The music section featured rap songs with extreme lyrics, while the images section contained nightmarish and disturbing content. The site was shut down in 2019, following widespread concern about the nature of its content, particularly the videos involving children. While some argued the content might have been staged, the distressing nature of the material rightfully caused alarm. MrDeepFakes.com. MrDeepFakes.com uses artificial intelligence technology to superimpose celebrities' faces onto adult film performers' bodies. The site hosts thousands of fake videos that appear to show famous actors and actresses in explicit scenes. This raises serious ethical and potential legal concerns. While someone doesn't technically own the copyright to their face, these videos could constitute an invasion of privacy. By the time a celebrity becomes aware their likeness has been used and takes action, the content may have already been viewed thousands of times and downloaded to hundreds of computers. The site hosts over 100,000 fake explicit videos and images, with new content added regularly. The technology behind these deepfakes is becoming increasingly sophisticated, making the fake videos more and more convincing. This type of content represents a disturbing trend, where technology enables the creation of realistic but entirely fabricated compromising material of real people without their consent. As AI technology advances, the potential for misuse grows, raising serious questions about digital consent and image rights. Heavensgate.com. The Heaven's Gate website serves as a digital time capsule of one of the most infamous cults in American history. Founded in 1974 by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles, who called themselves Do and T.I., the group blended elements of Christianity with beliefs about UFOs and extraterrestrial life. Applewhite and Nettles taught that they would lead followers to a higher evolutionary level, and that Earth was about to be recycled, destroyed. The group gained followers through meetings targeting people interested in UFOs, with attendees describing Applewhite's message as deeply resonant with their personal beliefs. Members lived nomadically, relying on donations, and adhered to strict practices including sexual abstinence and maintaining androgynous appearances. After Nettles died of cancer in 1985, the group's doctrine evolved significantly. In March 1997, Heaven's Gate gained international attention when 39 members, including Applewhite, committed mass suicide in a mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California. They believed they were leaving their physical containers, bodies, to board a spaceship supposedly trailing behind the Hale-Bopp comet. The members were found dressed identically in black clothing with Nike Decade sneakers, which became a recognizable symbol of the tragedy. The website heavensgate.com remains active today, maintained by former members who didn't participate in the suicide. It contains the writings and teachings of the group, serving as both a historical document and a warning about the dangers of apocalyptic cult thinking. Pink Meth was one of the largest revenge sites on the internet. Its purpose was to allow users to anonymously post explicit images of former partners without their consent, along with their personal information and social media links. Initially hosted on the surface web, increasing legal pressure forced it to move to the dark web. What made Pink Meth particularly cruel was its approach to removal requests. While the site claimed to offer a process for victims to have their images taken down, this process was designed to further humiliate them. Victims were required to submit lengthy personal stories in a format that mocked them and blamed them for the situation. In reality, these images were never removed, regardless of what steps the victims took. The site's operation finally ended in November 2014 as part of Operation Onimus, a large-scale law enforcement effort targeting illegal activities on the dark web. Pink Meth was one of over 24 sites closed during this operation. Details about the creator of Pink Meth and whether they faced legal consequences remain unclear. However, their site caused immeasurable harm to countless victims whose privacy was violated in one of the most degrading ways possible. Stillbornangels.com. This entry represents something different and perhaps the saddest on our list. Babyangel.com, also known as the Angel Pics Project, provides a service for families who have experienced the loss of a newborn or stillborn baby. The site offers a specialized service where families can upload images of their stillborn or deceased newborn. Volunteer artists then retouch these photographs, removing medical equipment, visible marks, or bruising. They can also change backgrounds to create more peaceful, serene images, that give parents a chance to see their child as they might have looked in life. A similar site, Stillborn Angels, .memory.com, posts photographs of stillborn babies in a public gallery. This allows families to share images of their children with others who understand their loss. The site explicitly states that only families who have experienced stillbirth or premature loss of a child are welcome, warning that anyone visiting to ridicule these families will have their IP addresses investigated. While these sites aren't disturbing in the same way as others on our list, they represent a profoundly sad corner of the internet. Places created to help people cope with one of life's most tragic experiences. 5nchronicles.blogspot.com. This blog appears ordinary at first glance, but takes on a disturbing dimension when you learn its author is Joseph E. Duncan III, a convicted serial killer on federal death row, when he wrote it. Duncan began his criminal activities as a teenager, sexually assaulting children as young as 9 and cycling through the prison system for various crimes. His violence escalated dramatically in 2005 when he murdered Brenda Groen, her boyfriend Mark McKenzie, and her son Slade Groen in their home. Brenda's 2 other children, Dylan and Shasta, were kidnapped. 7 weeks later, Shasta was spotted at a Denny's restaurant with Duncan. According to Duncan's own writings, he spared Shasta because she showed him how to love. Her brother Dylan wasn't so fortunate and was also murdered. The 5N Chronicles blog contains Duncan's prison diary entries, which he sent as letters to an unknown person who published them online. What makes the blog particularly unsettling is the mundane nature of many posts. Duncan discusses everyday concerns like hair loss and weight changes, alongside entries that hint at his crimes, including one where he mentions visiting his stepsister weeks after murdering another teenage boy. The disconnect between the ordinary tone and the author's horrific actions creates a disturbing juxtaposition. The blog includes entries from 2010 until January 2021, shortly before Duncan's death from a brain tumor in March 2021. HChan.mo. While 4chan is known for hosting controversial content, 8chan.mo takes things to an even more disturbing level. This site was delisted from Google search results due to hosting illegal and deeply disturbing material. The site follows a similar format to 4chan, with different boards dedicated to various topics. However, among these boards are sections dedicated to extreme and illegal content, including animal abuse. Users, primarily men, share videos and images of themselves engaging in criminal acts with animals, particularly dogs. These posts receive supportive comments from other users, creating a community around this abusive behavior. This site represents one of the darkest corners of the internet, where users openly share content that is not only morally reprehensible, but also illegal in most jurisdictions. The existence of such communities highlights serious concerns about online content moderation and the difficulty of policing the darkest corners of the web. Services. Sites. Rather than naming specific websites, this entry covers a category of sites offering illegal hacking services. These sites claim to provide services such as accessing others' personal accounts, conducting DDoS attacks on websites, and even framing individuals for crimes they didn't commit by planting illegal content on their computers. Transactions on these sites typically occur through cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, allowing both the customer and service provider to remain anonymous. Similar sites offer illegal drugs, counterfeit money, and other prohibited goods and services. What makes these sites particularly disturbing is how they commercialize harmful activities, making it easier for individuals with malicious intent to cause serious harm to others. They represent the intersection of technology and crime, where digital skills are weaponized against unsuspecting victims. It's worth noting that many of these sites are scams, taking payment without delivering the promised services. However, whether legitimate or fraudulent, they represent a troubling market for harmful activities. The Cannibal Cafe. The Cannibal Cafe was an online forum created in 1994, dedicated to discussions about cannibalism. Despite its disturbing focus, the site operated openly on the surface web, rather than being hidden in dark web networks. The forum served as a meeting place for individuals interested in cannibalism, either as a fantasy or as an actual practice. Users would discuss their desires, share stories, both fictional and allegedly real, and in some cases, try to arrange meetings to fulfill these fantasies. The site's founder, known by the pseudonym Pero Loco, was later identified and interviewed. He was linked to other websites focused on death-related fetishes and appeared to have some medical knowledge, evidenced by his detailed responses to forum questions about how to harm someone, minimally, while engaging in cannibalistic acts. Content on the forum ranged from people seeking willing victims to others volunteering themselves to be consumed. Some posts included disturbing details about preparation methods and recipes. While most discussions were likely fantasy and roleplay, some users had serious intentions. The most notorious case connected to this community involved Armin Maiwes, known as Frankie, on similar forums. In 2004, Maiwes was arrested for killing and eating burned Brandes, who had actually consented to being killed and consumed. Although Maiwes and Brandes didn't meet specifically through the Cannibal Cafe, Maiwes was active in these online communities, seeking someone willing to be eaten. The case highlighted the disturbing reality that these forums weren't entirely fantasy. Some users were genuinely seeking to turn these discussions into actions. The Cannibal Cafe and similar sites represent how the internet can facilitate connections between individuals with extreme and dangerous desires that would be almost impossible to express openly in typical social settings. Conclusion. And that concludes our journey through the unusual and disturbing website Iceberg. From relatively innocent oddities at the surface to truly disturbing content in the depths, the internet contains virtually everything humanity is capable of creating, both the ingenious and the horrifying. What connects many of these sites is how they reflect aspects of human psychology, our curiosity about the forbidden, our fascination with death and suffering, our desire to connect with others who share our interests, no matter how unusual, and sometimes our capacity for cruelty. While researching this video, I've tried to present this information factually, without sensationalizing. My goal isn't to drive traffic to these sites, many are harmful or illegal, but to document this aspect of internet culture and perhaps help us understand the darker corners of human expression. If you found this video interesting, consider subscribing for more deep dives into unusual and sometimes disturbing topics. Thanks for watching. E.info. At the tip of our iceberg sits E.info, a strange but relatively harmless site. Every time you refresh the page, something completely different appears on your screen. Random images, bizarre GIFs, weird videos, or nonsensical text. It feels like digital chaos by design. Click anywhere, and you're taken to another randomly generated page with more weird content. At the bottom of the site are 3 shapes that lead to NFTs priced at about $2,000 each. Is there a point to this site? Not really. It's digital art that embraces randomness and confusion. But compared to what's coming next, this is just the shallow end of the pool. Ashley Madison. You've probably heard of Ashley Madison, especially after its massive data breach in 2015. The site launched in 2001 with a clear mission: to help married people have affairs. Their tagline says it all: life is short, have an affair. Unlike typical dating sites, Ashley Madison is specifically designed for people looking to cheat on their partners. Users can blur their photos and only reveal them to people they're interested in. The site emphasizes privacy and discretion. At least it did, until 2015. That year, hackers stole and published personal information from millions of users, including names, email addresses, and credit card details. The breach exposed politicians, celebrities, religious leaders, and everyday people who were using the site to cheat on their partners. Some users even paid a $19 fee to have Ashley Madison delete their data completely. But the breach revealed that the company hadn't actually deleted this information. Lives were ruined, marriages destroyed, and some users even died by suicide after being exposed. The site still exists today, claiming to have improved its security. But the incident serves as a stark reminder that nothing on the internet is truly private. The Homicide Monitor. The Homicide Monitor offers a sobering look at murder statistics from around the world. It's essentially a massive database tracking homicide rates across the globe, with particular focus on the Americas. The site reveals some disturbing patterns. For instance, the Americas make up just 13% of the world's population, but account for 34% of global homicides. Latin America and the Caribbean, with only 8% of the world's population, are responsible for 28% of all murders worldwide. In 2022 alone, nearly 48,000 people were killed in Brazil, the highest number of homicides in any country that year. The site also shows that 71% of homicides in Latin America involve firearms, compared to the global average of 41%. What makes this site disturbing isn't just the raw data, but how it visualizes death, turning thousands of individual tragedies into color-coded maps and graphs. It's a clinical look at humanity's capacity for violence, reduced to statistics you can filter and sort. Windows93.net. Let's shift to something lighter. Windows93.net recreates the experience of using an old-school Windows operating system, but with weird twists and Easter eggs. When you visit, you're greeted with a desktop that looks like Windows from the 90s, complete with pixelated icons and that nostalgic startup sound. But start clicking around, and things get weird. There's a game that's basically Wolfenstein 3D, a virtual girl that sits at the bottom of your screen, and various fake virus programs that corrupt your fake computer in unexpected ways. You might find ASCII Star Wars, strange GIFs, or programs that make your screen glitch out. It's a bizarre digital playground that combines nostalgia with surrealism, like if Windows 95 had a fever dream. Library of Babel. The Library of Babel is a digital version of a concept from a Jorge Luis Borges short story. The site is essentially the ultimate expression of the infinite monkey theorem. Given enough time, a monkey hitting random keys on a typewriter would eventually produce the complete works of Shakespeare. The website contains every possible combination of letters, spaces, and punctuation within a certain length. This means that theoretically, everything that has ever been written or will ever be written exists somewhere in this digital library. Want to find your future biography? It's in there somewhere. The complete cure for cancer written out in detail? That's there too, buried among trillions of pages of nonsense. The companion site, the Babel Image Archives, does the same thing with images. It contains every possible 640 by 416 pixel image, using 4,096 different colors. Every photograph that could ever exist at that resolution is somewhere in this archive. What makes these sites unsettling is the way they highlight how meaning gets lost in infinity. Finding anything useful is practically impossible, like looking for a specific grain of sand on all the beaches of the world. Hotel 626. Hotel 626 was an innovative web-based horror game created as, believe it or not, a marketing campaign for Doritos. Launched in 2008, what made this game unique was that you could only play it between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., adding to its creepy atmosphere. To start, players had to enter personal details, including their phone number, and enable their webcam and microphone. This wasn't just for immersion. These features were actually used during gameplay. In one challenge, you'd explore a dark room using your camera flash to see. Eventually, you'd photograph a girl sitting in the darkness. In another puzzle, you needed to find a specific photo among many on a wall. What you didn't know was that the game secretly took your picture using your webcam and placed it among the others. The most unsettling feature was when the game actually called your real phone with instructions on how to escape the hotel. Remember, since you could only play between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., this call would often come in the middle of the night. The game's success led to a sequel called Asylum 626, which took things further by integrating your Facebook friends into the experience and posting on your profile without permission. Both games were promotional tools for Doritos, with no obvious connection to the product. Hotel 626 remains one of the most innovative and invasive marketing campaigns ever created. Goggle.com. Goggle.com is a classic example of typo squatting, registering domains that are common misspellings of popular websites. In this case, it's targeting people who accidentally type Goggle instead of Google. For years, if you made this typo, you'd be directed to a site loaded with malware, spamming your device with error messages and pop-ups. Some versions would try to trick you into downloading fake antivirus software or lock your browser until you called a scam tech support number. Typo squatting sites like these prey on simple mistakes, turning a slip of the finger into potential identity theft or financial fraud. They're digital traps waiting for distracted web users. Thisman.org. Have you ever seen this man in your dreams? Thisman.org centers around a mysterious figure that supposedly appears in people's dreams worldwide. According to the site, in 2006, a patient showed her psychiatrist a sketch of a man who repeatedly appeared in her nightmares. The psychiatrist later encountered another patient who recognized the same man from their dreams. After sharing the drawing with colleagues, more reports emerged of people claiming to have dreamed about this same mysterious figure. The website collects these accounts and encourages visitors to share their own experiences. What's particularly interesting is how people describe this man in their dreams. Rather than appearing threatening, many report him as a comforting presence who offers guidance or reassurance. This has led to various theories. Is he a religious figure? A manifestation of the collective unconscious? Or simply a face so average that it resembles everyone and no one? The most likely explanation is that the website is an elaborate art project or social experiment. Many people only recognize the man after seeing his image, suggesting the power of suggestion rather than a genuine paranormal phenomenon. Nevertheless, the site has developed a cult following and continues to collect new dream reports from around the world. LastMealProject.com. The Last Meal Project documents the final meals requested by death row inmates before their executions. The site displays each inmate's mugshot with their chosen last meal superimposed over the image. Beyond just cataloging these final requests, the site aims to spark discussion about capital punishment. It highlights cases where executed individuals were later found innocent, raising difficult questions about justice and irreversible punishment. The meals themselves range from elaborate feasts to simple comfort foods, or sometimes nothing at all. Each choice offers a glimpse into the mind of someone facing their final hours, their childhood favorites, cultural dishes, or small pleasures denied during incarceration. What makes the site disturbing is how it humanizes people who often committed horrific crimes, while simultaneously underscoring the finality of execution. It forces viewers to confront both the humanity of the condemned and the reality of state-sanctioned death. StaggeringBeauty.com. Staggering Beauty features a simple black worm-like figure that follows your mouse movements across a white background. Seems innocent enough, right? But there's an important warning when you enter. The site contains flashing lights that could trigger seizures in people with photosensitive epilepsy. When you move your mouse slowly, the worm gently follows along. But if you shake your mouse rapidly, the screen erupts into a chaotic display of flashing colors and patterns, accompanied by blasting heavy metal music. The worm itself transforms, growing spikes and thrashing wildly. It's a classic internet jump scare, designed to startle unsuspecting visitors. While not deeply disturbing content-wise, it represents the internet's love of the unexpected and bizarre. Planecrash.info. Planecrash.info is a comprehensive database documenting aviation disasters from around the world. Each entry provides details about the flight, including the airline, flight number, location, and number of fatalities. One of the most chilling features is a section containing the final recorded words from doomed flights, captured by cockpit voice recorders. These transcripts offer a glimpse into the last moments before disaster struck. Sometimes calm professional discussions, other times desperate attempts to save the aircraft, or even final words to loved ones. The site also covers unusual causes of crashes. In one documented incident, an Indian Airlines flight crashed after a vulture broke through the cockpit window and killed the co-pilot. While the site isn't sensationalistic, there's something inherently disturbing about browsing through thousands of tragedies, each representing real human lives, lost in terrifying circumstances. Housecreep.com. Housecreep.com is a database of properties with troubled pasts. The site documents houses where confirmed homicides, suicides, drug operations, or even reported paranormal activities have occurred. One of the site's most useful or unsettling features is the ability to search for properties in your own neighborhood. You might discover that the house you pass every day was once a crime scene or drug lab. For example, the site lists a house in Ontario, Canada, that was the home of Corporal Marie-France Comeau, who was murdered by the infamous Colonel Russell Williams, a former commander in the Canadian Forces, who was convicted of multiple sexual assaults and murders. The paranormal section includes reports of alleged hauntings and unexplained phenomena, though these accounts are presented alongside factual criminal histories without distinction. For homebuyers, the site serves a practical purpose by revealing information that real estate agents might not disclose. For the morbidly curious, it offers a window into the hidden histories of ordinary-looking properties. Middle depths. Now we're diving deeper into our iceberg, where the websites become more obscure and often more disturbing. Lomando.com. Lomando.com is an online horror puzzle game created by a developer known as Nitao. Set in a haunted amusement park called Fancy Island, the game initially appears cute and innocent, inviting visitors to learn and visit. However, once inside, players discover the park has transformed into a nightmarish landscape filled with puzzles, cryptic codes, and ghosts. The gameplay combines exploration, puzzle solving, and RPG-style battles against various enemies. What makes Lomando unusual is how it subverts expectations, luring players in with a cheerful facade before revealing its true horror nature. The game requires players to decode hidden messages and navigate a complex maze-like environment to progress. While not as disturbing as other entries on our list, Lomando represents a type of web experience that was more common in the early days of the internet. Mysterious, user-unfriendly sites that required dedication to fully explore. Once there, visitors find a strange collection of photoshopped images. The first page features Arnold Schwarzenegger's face, edited onto various Sailor Moon characters. As you move your cursor around, additional images briefly appear and disappear. The only clickable element is an Enter button at the bottom, which takes you to another page with Tony Blair's face photoshopped onto Margaret Thatcher's body. Each subsequent page features more bizarre political photoshops, including North Korean leaders and American politicians as Lord of the Rings characters. This continues for dozens of pages, each more random than the last. There's no apparent purpose or message, just strange internet humor from an era before memes had standardized formats. Magibon.com. This site has an unsettling backstory. Margaret Lillian Adams, known online as Magibon, became a YouTube sensation in the mid-2000s with her minimalist videos, where she would simply stare at the camera, occasionally saying hello or goodbye. Despite their simplicity, these videos gained her over 100,000 subscribers and led to opportunities in Japan, including TV appearances and voice acting work. However, her growing fame attracted unwanted attention. Someone created Magibon.com, a site dedicated to disturbing content about her. Initially attributed to someone named Frank, the site posted videos and messages displaying an obsession with Magibon. The content was designed to unsettle both Magibon and her fans. In one video, Frank directly referenced Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, a romantic comedy, in a twisted context. Later, it was revealed that Frank was actually Joachim Dunom, a digital art student conducting what he called a social experiment. He used Magibon's internet fame to explore online behaviors and reactions. While he considered his project successful in attracting attention and debate, it raised serious questions about online harassment and privacy. Magibon stopped uploading to YouTube in 2014, but maintains a presence on other social media platforms, having moved past this disturbing chapter in her online life. enris.angelfire.com. Hosted on the early web service Angelfire, this strange site initially seems like a medical information page about something called EMX disease and GX syndrome, described as a genetic mutation affecting glandular tissue. However, a quick internet search reveals that neither EMX nor GX syndrome exist outside this website, suggesting it's either fictional or deliberately misleading. The site's navigation includes several puzzling elements. There's a photo of someone who appears to be a doctor, with numbers in the corner. Clicking this photo causes it to distort progressively with each click, while the text becomes increasingly jumbled and nonsensical. If you continue clicking, you eventually reach a page with a smiley face and the message, "Please wake up. Thank you for visiting our website." Another page shows a blue key with distorted text. Clicking this key returns you to the homepage. There's also a bypass login link leading to a cryptic message about the dream ending and a person number station video, which actually comes from an alternate reality game connected to the TV show Lost. Internet sleuths discovered that the woman's photo on the homepage was taken from a Bangkok dental clinic website, adding another layer of mystery. Some users reported finding a PDF link supposedly directing to a non-existent Thai mental health hotline, but this link has since disappeared. The purpose of this bizarre site remains unclear. It could be an abandoned art project, an attempt at creating a creepypasta, or something more meaningful that only made sense to its creator. Grotto Faith. Grotto Faith is a collection of 5 interconnected websites, each offering a distinct but equally strange experience. Bornless, Crypt, Shab, Ezekiel, and Solomon. Bornless, Grotto Faith, has a religious theme. Upon entering, you hear a speech about Jesus Christ, and scrolling down, reveals an Enter button. Clicking it takes you to a page with a color-changing background and ominous music. There's a search bar functioning like a magic 8-ball, answering questions you type. If you enter the main door, a crudely drawn person asks if you want to ascend. Saying no takes you to what appears to be hell. After waiting, you're shown a map with various dots. Most lead to error pages, but one takes you to Jimmy's world, featuring a floating character presumably named Jimmy. Crypt Grotto Faith has a creepier vibe, with a floating moon on the homepage. Clicking it causes a glitch effect with static. The next screen displays 3 objects: a question mark, a train, and a glass of milk. The train option offers a choice between heaven and hell. Choosing hell leads to a page with an inverted cross cursor, eventually reaching a maggot-infested page with a clickable heart that adds to your inventory. The milk and question mark options let you interact with characters like a milkman or a wise old man who offers tea. Shab Grotto Faith displays a Bible passage and 2 torches, but little else. Ezekiel Grotto Faith features a strange creature claiming to be God, who offers to prove it by slaughtering all that you know. Finally, Solomon Grotto.Faith contains an 8-page PDF about masculine and feminine symbolism in the Kabbalah, along with various symbols and names. The purpose behind this collection of bizarre websites remains unclear, but they create an unsettling experience that combines religious imagery, surrealism, and interactive storytelling. acolumbine.site.com. This website serves as a comprehensive archive dedicated to the 1999 Columbine High School massacre. Unlike sensationalistic true crime content, the site aims to document this tragedy in detail for educational and historical purposes. The site includes profiles of the victims and the perpetrators, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. It houses a vast collection of primary sources, including transcripts of the infamous basement tapes made by Harris and Klebold, though these were never fully released by the FBI, their diaries, online profiles, and other personal writings. The archive also contains official records such as autopsy reports, crime scene photos, and police documents. There are sections with news clips, videos, and photos from the time of the shooting. While the site's stated purpose is to ensure that the events of the massacre are not forgotten, it walks a fine line between documentation and potential glorification. The detailed nature of the content makes it disturbing, particularly the personal writings of the killers that reveal their thought processes leading up to the attack. For researchers and those interested in understanding mass shootings, the site provides valuable primary sources. However, the graphic and sensitive nature of much of the content means it's not for everyone. 50/50. 50/50 is a subreddit that works like a digital version of Russian roulette. Each post has a title describing two possible outcomes, one pleasant and one disturbing. But you don't know which you'll get until you click. For example, a post might be titled 50/50ths, Beautiful Sunset at the Beach Vertical Bar, Graphic Car Crash Aftermath. Clicking the link will lead to one of these two possibilities, with equal chance for either outcome. What makes 50/50 particularly unsettling is the anticipation and gamble. Users click, knowing they might see something heartwarming or something that will haunt them. The disturbing content can range from mildly gross to extremely graphic, including injuries, medical procedures, and sometimes death. The subreddit has rules against illegal content, but within those boundaries, there's still plenty of disturbing material. It plays on human curiosity and the thrill of risk-taking, creating an addictive but potentially traumatizing experience. Obsidiansnow.net. Obsidiansnow.net offers a unique click-through adventure that feels like navigating a digital labyrinth. The entry page displays a triangle made of circles, and clicking any circle redirects you to different pages on another site called h.net. Each click leads to yet another page, creating a chain of increasingly strange content. Some pages feature images of tablets with mythical creatures overlaid on top. Others contain animations, like spiders crawling across your screen. Many pages lead to downloadable files, including zip archives and password-protected PDFs. There are hints that some pages might contain passwords for these protected files, though downloading anything from such mysterious sites poses obvious security risks. The purpose or end goal of Obsidiansnow isn't clear. It seems more like an exploration of web design possibilities and interactive elements than a site with a specific message. The disorienting nature of constantly being redirected to new, strange pages creates an unsettling experience of being lost in a digital maze. Insecam.org is essentially a directory of live feeds from unsecured surveillance and CCTV cameras around the world. These are cameras where the owners haven't changed the default passwords, making them accessible to anyone who knows how to look. The site organizes these camera feeds by country and type, allowing users to view everything from traffic intersections to office buildings to shopping malls. Similar sites include Opentopia, which offers the same kind of access to unsecured cameras. What makes these sites disturbing is the obvious privacy implications. Many of the people being recorded have no idea their movements are viewable by anyone with an internet connection. While the site claims to filter out cameras that might invade private spaces like homes, the very existence of such a collection raises serious ethical concerns. Beyond privacy issues, these unsecured cameras represent security vulnerabilities. Someone with malicious intent could use them to scout locations for burglaries or other crimes. The site highlights how many people and organizations fail to implement basic security measures for their connected devices, creating unintentional windows into spaces that would otherwise be private or secure. Deeper waters. As we continue our descent, we're entering truly disturbing territory. These websites contain content that many would find deeply unsettling or offensive. I'll describe them clinically without sensationalizing. Kekma.net, previously known as Kekma.ga. This site is infamous for its extremely graphic and disturbing content. Upon entering, visitors are asked if they want to proceed. Those who do are immediately bombarded with flashing images and extremely loud, jarring sounds. The content includes loops of graphic violence, gore, and animal abuse. The imagery is designed to shock and disturb, often depicting extreme bodily harm and sexual violence. The site uses various tricks to trap visitors, such as disabling the back button or creating pop-ups that make it difficult to leave. Some versions even attempt to capture your IP address or access your webcam. Kekma.net represents a type of shock site created solely to traumatize unsuspecting visitors. There's no artistic, educational, or political purpose, just pure shock value. Angusnicnaneen.com. This website takes visitors on an eerie journey through a world called Terminal 00000, created by author Angusnicnaneen, who also wrote a book called Stars Bleed. The site sets a haunting mood with dark imagery and unsettling background music. The website is incredibly complex, with hundreds of pages featuring short stories, puzzles like click-through mazes, and cryptic images. It's so detailed that there's an entire subreddit dedicated to deciphering its content. According to Nicnaneen himself, there's no overarching plot to the website. It's more about creating an immersive, unsettling experience. The site uses glitchy animations, obscure moving objects, and a dark, mysterious atmosphere to create a sense of unease. What makes Angusnicnaneen.com stand out is its artistic approach to digital unease. Rather than relying on explicit shock content, it creates discomfort through atmosphere, implication, and the unknown. It's like walking through a digital haunted house where you never know what's around the next corner. Superbad.com. Superbad.com, unrelated to the movie, is a website where every click leads to a new, unpredictable page. Each page contains strange imagery, text, or animations, with no apparent connection between them. After navigating for a while, you might land on a page with circles that each lead to different content. One might take you to a letter from Uncle Jay, apologizing for the turkey neck incident at Thanksgiving dinner. Another might lead to more snippets about this mysterious Uncle Jay from someone named Mr. Hubris. The site has existed since the 1990s, making it one of the early examples of experimental web art. At the time, its strange animations and non-linear navigation would have been particularly novel. What makes Superbad interesting is its lack of purpose. It doesn't try to shock or frighten. It simply exists as a digital curiosity, a labyrinth of random creative expressions without explanation or conclusion. Subculture.com. Subculture.com assaults visitors with a barrage of random, sometimes jarring images. These can include historical events, heavily edited explicit images, or completely nonsensical visuals. The site also generates numerous pop-ups that can be difficult to close, creating a sense that your computer is being overwhelmed. Created by Antonio Mendoza, the site was part of the net art movement of the late 1990s and early 2000s. In an interview, Mendoza explained that Subculture.com was designed to be a destabilizing experience, intentionally making users unsure if their computer was functioning correctly. Unlike shock sites that aim to disturb through explicit content, Subculture tries to unsettle through confusion and digital chaos. It breaks the expected rules of website behavior, creating a sense of losing control over your browsing experience. Mendoza himself doesn't consider the site creepy, viewing it simply as an art project, exploring the boundaries of web design. However, many visitors find the disorienting experience and random imagery deeply unsettling. Militant Consumerism.wordpress.com. This blog appears simple at first glance, but delves into complex conspiracy theories and esoteric subjects. It covers global politics and conspiracies surrounding high-profile assassinations, like those of Martin Luther King Jr. and JFK, suggesting involvement by organizations like the FBI. The final post from the author is particularly intriguing. They announce they're stopping their blog about the secret plans of groups like the Reptilian Illuminati New World Order, ending with a plea for help in deleting the blog. This abrupt conclusion leaves readers wondering whether the author genuinely feared for their safety or if it was part of the performance. The site represents a particular internet subculture that blends political commentary with increasingly paranoid worldviews. While much of the content seems far-fetched, the depth and detail of the posts create a compelling narrative that can draw readers deeper into conspiracy thinking. What makes militant consumerism disturbing isn't explicit content, but the way it blurs the line between legitimate criticism of power structures and paranoid delusions, potentially reinforcing harmful thought patterns in vulnerable readers. Lhoq.info, Lhoq, Laughing Horse's Orifice headquarters, is a bizarre, labyrinthine website containing a mixture of strange videos, nonsensical text, and unusual images. With over 800 pages of content, it's almost impossible to fully explore. The site gained notoriety because some pages displayed personal information about American political and public figures, including alleged phone numbers for people like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Obviously, using this information to contact these individuals would be inappropriate and potentially illegal. Beyond this controversial aspect, Lhoq contains pages dedicated to various conspiracy theories and commentary on political and social issues, often presented in ambiguous or challenging ways. The site includes references to real events, like MKUltra, alongside fictional narratives that mimic conspiracy theories. The design is intentionally confusing, with a maze-like structure that makes it difficult to navigate systematically. Visitors can click through endless series of links, each leading deeper into the site's strange content. What makes Lhoq disturbing is its combination of real information, misinformation, and surreal content, all presented in a disorienting interface that makes it difficult to distinguish fact from fiction. CIA, Dark Web. In my research on the Dark Web, I found something surprising. A legitimate CIA website. Unlike most dark web content, this site is actually operated by the Central Intelligence Agency itself. The site contains information about the CIA's mission and even allows visitors to apply for jobs. It appears the agency hosts this mirror of their public website on the dark web as a way to maintain secure communications in countries where internet access might be restricted or monitored. It also serves as a basic technical filter. If you have the skills to access the dark web, you might have the technical aptitude needed for certain intelligence roles. What makes this entry interesting isn't that it's disturbing, but rather the contrast it provides. Amid the illegal marketplaces and forums that populate much of the dark web, Here sits an official government agency, recruiting from the same shadowy corners of the internet that it likely monitors. TheBlackVault.com. The Black Vault is an extensive archive of declassified government documents obtained through Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) requests. The site hosts over 2 million pages of previously classified materials from the U.S. government. The collection includes documents related to UFO sightings, paranormal activities, and controversial events like the JFK assassination. There are also more recent additions, such as the full Jeffrey Epstein court documents. One particularly interesting section focuses on paranormal activities and UFO sightings investigated by the U.S. government. For example, the site includes a report about a UFO sighting in Australia, where 2 separate families, unknown to each other, described seeing the same circular craft with windows and colored lights hovering above a road. Both families independently provided identical descriptions of the object and its location. While not inherently disturbing, the Black Vault can be unsettling because it reveals how much information governments withhold from the public, sometimes for decades. It raises questions about what else might remain classified and why certain information was kept secret for so long. For those interested in government secrets and unexplained phenomena, the Black Vault offers a treasure trove of primary sources that often raise more questions than they answer. Galldrux.org. Galldrux is essentially a cult website centered around a mystical concept of a multiverse. The site blends spiritual ideas with technological terminology, creating a strange hybrid of tech mysticism. The main page states they're seeking people with specific skills to fulfill their plans of creating a network of Galldrux cults worldwide. They particularly want individuals educated in virtual reality, alternate reality technology, and artificial intelligence, aiming to reach a multiversal singularity through techno-mysticism. The site contains numerous clickable links that lead to pages filled with bizarre images. Clicking these images takes you to more random images, creating an endless chain of increasingly strange content. What makes Galldrux disturbing is how it mimics the recruitment tactics of actual cults, targeting tech-savvy individuals with promises of spiritual enlightenment through technology. While it may be an elaborate art project or social experiment, it demonstrates how easily esoteric spiritual concepts can be merged with technological jargon to create something that sounds meaningful but may be essentially nonsensical. The site represents a potential future direction for cult-like organizations, leveraging technological concepts instead of traditional religious imagery to attract followers. The Abyss. We've now reached the darkest depths of our iceberg. The websites described below contain truly disturbing content. I'll discuss them factually without sensationalizing. N.imp.org N.imp.org was a notorious shock site created by a trolling group. Unlike other shock sites that simply displayed disturbing content, N.imp employed browser exploits to create a particularly invasive experience. When visitors landed on the main page, they were immediately bombarded with gory, disgusting, and disturbing images. The site used techniques to bypass standard pop-up blockers, opening multiple windows filled with shocking content. These windows were programmed to move around the screen, making them difficult to close. Even more problematic was the site's replication feature. If users tried to close their browser to escape, N.imp would generate more windows, trapping them in an endless cycle of disturbing imagery. As a trolling site, N.imp was often disguised behind innocent-looking URLs, tricking unsuspecting users into visiting, similar to Rickrolling, but with traumatic content instead of a harmless music video. The site exemplifies how the internet can be weaponized to cause distress, turning what should be a consensual browsing experience into a forced exposure to disturbing material. Todaynews.blogspot.com. Israel Today News was a blog that initially appeared to be a typical conspiracy theory site. It centered around a character named David Goldberg and his supposed revelations about secret government projects, Project Pogo and Project Zypher. According to the blog, Project Pogo was a government initiative to create social media accounts, tracking conspiracy theorists and social dissidents. Project Zypher supposedly involved plans for a New World Order takeover in 2020, with COVID-19 as a central element. These predictions didn't materialize as described, which might normally cause such a site to lose credibility. However, the blog had an ulterior motive beyond spreading conspiracy theories. Throughout its content, the blog repeatedly mentioned Bitcoin and encouraged readers to purchase cryptocurrency. As readers delved deeper, they would eventually be directed to a site called bitcoin.org, which was allegedly designed to steal the Bitcoin that users had just purchased. This makes Today News particularly disturbing as it preyed on people's fears about government control and global conspiracies, not just to spread misinformation, but to financially exploit vulnerable individuals seeking truth in uncertain times.